Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Phoenix and the Ferryman, the Trauma Transformation Podcast. And tonight we're doing something a little differently. I wanted to bring on a guest who is a little bit more of a new kid on the block when it comes to coaching, but he has an amazing message for you guys about following your dreams and not giving up. And I think that there is something to be said about those of us who work 9 to 5s and do what we think we're supposed to do, and then discover a little bit later in life that it's actually okay not to do that. So I want to bring to you guys an amazing story that's not about trauma. Please welcome David Rusinko. Hi, David.
Hello. How are you?
I am awesome. So I always start the show with a question that gives everybody the opportunity to get to know you a little bit. So what is your biggest guilty pleasure?
Oh, my biggest guilty pleasure. I'd have to say right now it would be, since my wife and I and my family, we lived our entire lives in Maryland and just relocated to Des Moines last August. And since I've been here, I've gotten into the craft brewery scene. So I think that would be right now, that would be my biggest guilty pleasure. It's something I get to do with my son. Go out, check out there's tons here in Des Moines. I think they're everywhere, but there's tons here. So getting out, trying a few new craft brews, that'd be my guilty pleasure right now.
That's fun and social.
Yeah.
And you're embracing the culture of your new community.
Yes. Yeah. Des Moines is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool place.
So tell us about how you transitioned. Tell us about your old job and the progression of letting that go.
Yeah, well, it's not the old job yet, right? So I am transitioning, but definitely the decision to start the transition was just earlier this year. I've spent it's 22 years in the life insurance industry. It's been great. It's been a blessing. I've been able to raise a family, good steady income, and and externally, have had a pretty successful life. But inside, there are some dreams, right? That I wouldn't say that I've never pursued them. I pursued them. Many years ago. It was probably more in a religious context of ministry, counseling ministry, but within a religious context. But I laid that down at a couple of different times. I started to pursue it, then I laid it down, and then just went about the 9 to 5, the raising the family, the doing the stuff with the kids. But inside of me, there was that itch, that dream, and I'd say really what I feel is part of my life purpose that I was not pursuing. And a lot of things happened earlier this year. Really was networking around my insurance career. People would say, hey, Dave, what do you really want to do? And this coaching stuff came up, and before you know it, I started taking some classes. I signed up, for my own coach for the first time. I've been thinking about it for years, but started to do that. And I'd say about a month into those two things, I just woke up one morning and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this now. Number one, again, I think it's part of, who I am, part of my DNA. And then secondly, the future doesn't hold any promises. So again, probably in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to work towards retirement, get to that magical moment, and then I'll do this thing that I'm really passionate about. And I wrote, again, future doesn't hold any promises. I could get to that point and kick the bucket the next month. So again, I think that was the decision point in March of this year. And yeah, things have been awesome. Started, yeah, $0, zero clients, and just put my foot in the water. Worked with my own coach, and now things have just really been exploding. I'm working with 12 clients now, and hit all my financial goals for the business, and more importantly, I mean, it's a blessing. I get to see people's lives, just transforming. I get to see other people starting to pursue their dreams, starting to tell the story that they want to tell with their lives and have the impact that they want to have with their lives. And it's just a blessing to be a part of that. And I'd also say, I learned so much from it as well, right? Because we're all always in process, and doing this type of work um, is really helpful for me in my own growth as well. So it's been awesome.
So you're calling yourself a life masterpiece coach. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of relabeled myself that way just about a month ago. So I was calling myself a life transformation coach, and for sure there is, as I just described, there's plenty of transformation happening in people's lives. But I really love the life masterpiece coach. I know I'm not unique in that. I know there's other people out there that are branding themselves that way. But I have a Facebook group. It's called Tell a Better Story, and it's oriented towards people of all sorts of people that are interested in taking ownership of their lives and writing that next great life chapter. So the masterpiece kind of fits with the story component of building that. But a couple other things I love about it is, one, and again, there is transformation, but at least I'm of the belief that people at their core, that they're perfect the way they are, right? And that internally, that there's no need for transformation. You don't have to become somebody that you're not. What I'm doing is more about getting in touch with who that person is at their core, those dreams that exist at that core, and making that a reality in your life. So I like that. And the other piece I love about masterpiece is it gives the sense of what's the material for the masterpiece. Well, it's everything from your life, right? If an author is sitting down to write their masterpiece, they're drawing. Yes, they're using their imagination, but they're also drawing upon everything from their life, which is all the good stuff. It's all the bad stuff. It's all the traumas. It's all the, it's everything from that if you can leverage it, right, it becomes the material that you need to tell your unique story, to tell your unique story.
We lost your sound. Uh-oh.
Am I back? Can you
There
hear
you
me?
are. Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. It happens. These streaming things are terrible.
Okay.
So what is your favorite modality? What is the modality you go to as your, like, the one you study and the one that you want to know top to bottom? What is the modality that you've just gotten attached to?
All right. Are you talking about mindset changing, conditioning? Is that what you're referring to? What do you mean by modality? Let me ask you that.
What techniques are you using?
Sure. I mean, I think the main things, the primary things I'm working with clients, or is, number one, getting clarity on where it is they want to go, the story they want to tell. Which was actually really surprising to me when I got into this line of work, because of course there's other things other than clarity. And I was thinking, I bet there's a lot of people that aren't stuck with that. But really, my experience so far is that the people that are not, in any area of your life where you're not making the progress that you want, almost always clarity is a piece that's missing. But beyond that clarity, then obviously getting people to take massive action, right? Massive not meaning necessarily huge actions, but regular actions, focused actions that are going to move them in that direction. And then the third component, I'd say, to the extent that people are not making the progress that they want, or that they're stuck, right, is looking at both their mindset, their beliefs, right? What are the limiting beliefs? And then secondly, emotional mastery. So how are they showing up on a regular basis? How can they learn to manage those, put themselves in a more empowering state more of the time, which is going to, create a space for them where they're going to make better decisions, better choices to help them along their journey. So those are the primary things that I work with.
And you're right now with your clients, what are you offering to people? Do you do just like you have a 12 sessions, or you have different options?
New options coming, but up to this point, I've just done the 12 sessions of coaching. That's worked really well. Again, actually all the clients have started out doing that weekly. So, that gives you 3 months. And there's really, if you're focused and you're willing to put in the work, there's really a lot that you can accomplish in 3 months. And I've actually, since this is just since April, I had only two clients that went through the initial 12 sessions that both renewed, for another 12 sessions. And when we went there, then we scaled back to biweekly. So again, they had built up the momentum, but to keep the rhythm going and focus on 6 months, and and hopefully continue on from there. But it's worked really well. I think 12 sessions is a nice amount.
12 is my favorite too. It's really interesting because I've had a few coaches and I've talked to a ton of coaches, and a lot of people do 6 or 8. But what I've found is people have to commit to enough time to learn enough tools to make the changes that they want to change in their life. And the reality is 1 session a week is 1 hour of dedicated time, because they're only going to spend a half an hour, maybe an hour, the whole rest of the week even thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So really you're talking 12 hours of dedicated focus on on making your life the way that you want it to be. So it really does, even with the small stuff, take 12 sessions to really get that momentum. So it's very interesting to have people say, well, don't you do 4? Well, we can do 4, but what do you actually think you're going to get out of 4 sessions? Yeah. I mean, you can do some life change, but you have to create habits, and you have to get into changing patterns, and you have to recognize what needs to be changed first. So the whole first few sessions is that exploratory stuff, and then you make change. So it's very good to see someone who recognizes the value of dedicating a little time to commit to yourself and to your change. Yeah. Because it really does take a little bit of time.
It does. And I think, I don't know, maybe it probably depends on if you're, I don't know, like for me, I was exposed to life coaching, 4 or 5 years ago, and have wanted to do it. So for me, it probably only took 1 or 2 sessions of working with my coach for me to know, for sure, this is really going to work for me. I think for other people that may be brand new to it, right? I think like there's probably, any life coach out there is going to be willing to give you a free session, right? A free discovery session. And I just feel like, 1 session is certainly not enough. I think 12 sessions to get really some substantial results. But I'd say, you really need to commit to 3 or 4 to where you're really going to get a feel for how this thing works, and and whether it's the right fit for you.
Yeah, I think people know pretty soon whether they're with their person or
the light bulbs start going off.
Yep, I've tried a few. Well, back in the day before I was, a long time ago. I went through like 4 trying to find the right person. And it's so funny. It is or it isn't. And you don't always know based on someone's marketing or their their advertising. The person that they are on Facebook or that they are in their videos is not necessarily who they are when they're with you one-on-one. And then just it's so interesting to explore, someone's background and their actual interests and what have they studied and what qualifications do they have and what life experience do they bring to it. There's so many things to ask about and to and how important is that to you? Like, there's a whole bunch of coaches that don't have any technical qualifications, but they may have started their own business and they're really, really good at running businesses, and they brought their business to $1 million in the first 2 years, and they have really good tools in place, and they have a structure, and they teach you strategies, and they're like, this is how I did it. I'm happy to share that with you. If that's the case, they don't really need any kind of real technical qualifications. So it's that balance of, what are you looking for? What do you need from that person? So like you said, clarity. You got to know what you want a little bit going in to find the right person to give it to you. So what kind of people are you looking for? What is your ideal client?
I mean, to be fair, as a new business, that's something I'm still trying to focus in on, right? I mean, again, working with a broad range of people. Are you getting feedback?
Nope.
Work with a broad range of people. I'd say what they all have in common is that they are all dreamers. So I say I help dreamers to live the story they want to tell. I'd say, so I can tell you who it's not, right? I mean, I have people that are out there right now that would be out there saying like, hey, I am living the dream, right? I am taking the risk. I've started my own business. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Making these changes in all areas of my life. That's probably not my ideal client, right? My folks, my ideal client is stuck a little bit, right? And again, I'd say probably on the, age-wise, some of the younger ones, it's probably dealing with either some addictions or some just life has gone off the rails, in a number of ways. And it's like, what do I need to do to start pursuing my dream? And then you have on the older end of the spectrum, right? You have people that probably fit closer to what my experience was, okay, I've been working this 9-to-5 job. I've been focused on raising the kids. But there's something inside of me that I need to do, I want to do, I'm meant to do, but I keep putting it off, and now's the time. I'm ready to do it. And I think there too, I'd also say that any of those people, I think my ideal client are people that are definitely people that are focused and interested in making a broader impact in the world. And again, that could be like a worldwide. I do have some clients that are seriously focused on dreams that want to impact the entire world. It could be much smaller. It could be your kids, right? I want to make this change to inspire my kids and to open up opportunities for them, to set an example for them. I say for sure in my own case, like that's one of my biggest, in addition to enjoying the work that I'm doing, it's being able to set an example for my kids, that kind of takes my leverage from here to here. But just in general, I think, people that are dreamers that really want to have an impact in the world. And I would say, I do want to say with dreamers, I'm not talking about fluffy dreams, at all. I mean, I think some people, I'm hesitant to use it a little bit. I'm kind of working with it, right? Because it is the right word. It is the right word for me, because I believe everybody has a unique dream, right? We all do, right? And And every person's dream is unique, meaning, this is not about big dreams about what David thinks would be great for your life or anybody else in your life thinks would be great for your life. It's about what Krista, if I were coaching you, it's Krista's dream. It's how do I want to show up? What do I want my life to be about? So, sorry, that's rambling. You can tell I need to get my messaging shorter, but it is certainly, it is dreamers that are stuck in one way or another, or not taking the action to execute on those dreams, and people that want to make an impact on others' lives, not just I want the new boat, the new house, blah blah blah, just for me. So hopefully that answers your question.
I'll give you your concise. Who do I have to achieve what I want to achieve?
There you go. Thank you.
No, I love that. That's awesome. Clarity. Clarity is an important word.
Yep.
So, have you found so far? It's always really interesting how we learn from our clients. So, have you found that they come in already really kind of knowing, or at least having a good idea what it is they want, or do you feel like that's something that you've had to uncover a little bit? Or is that kind of vary for you?
I think it varies a little bit. For the most part, it's pretty easy for them. I'd say usually, again, we're not focusing. We're not going to start off with the whole masterpiece, right? We're going to start off on a particular area of your life, right? And I'd say some people lead with what is genuinely the most important area of their life to work on at the moment, right? Some people lead with that, and other people probably, until you've built up the trust, they're going to lead with a safer area where it is an area of their life where they do want to see change, right? But I'd say for those people, right, once you start to work on that particular area of their life, right, and they get to know you and trust develops, then it and they're making progress on that particular area of their life, then, and I usually, again, it's usually maybe a couple sessions in where they start to reveal some of the bigger picture, and maybe another area of their life that really is more important to them to work on than the first. And and then at that point, then we're making, it's partnering. So we're going to agree. Are we going to shift focus to this second, area of focus? Are we going to work on goals in both areas at the same time? Or do we just stick with the original one, and down the road we'll pick up with this additional area of focus? So I think it definitely varies from person to person, but for sure with any of them, it's a process of certainly from my perspective, not coaching just to the particular result that they're looking. Although we do deliver on that, but it's coaching to the person, right, and understanding more and more who they are, more and more what is happening at their core, And the more I understand that, the more they're willing to share that, then the more we can have good conversation about then that life masterpiece. So
what is your big picture? What is your dream?
Really, I have to say, I feel like I'm living it this year for sure. There's a purpose statement that I came up with a couple years ago at an event. The purpose of my life is to be a love instrument, to enjoy the universe's magnificent love for me, and to participate in the healing of hearts. And I feel like I do that. I live in that purpose in a lot of ways, in a lot of areas of my life, but stepping into this life coaching business, and living that, really makes me feel alive. I feel like I am living the dream in terms of what the what the end result will be or the end impact. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I mean, I know. I mean, I know even with the limited people that I've worked with, this year. I mean, um, I just see the ripple effect of that. So I know that the impact that I'm going to have, the lives that I'll touch. Um, I mean, two things. One, it's the folks that I coach and the impact that they're having on others in their lives. And then secondly, there's also the community. So again, with my Facebook group, I mean, that community. Yes, there are people in that community that are current clients, and there are people there that will be future clients. But the community exists on its own. I mean, it's there as a community for people that are trying to make these changes in their lives. And so again, um, you know, I am building that community, but I am also supporting that community. I'm excited to see where that goes and where that takes off and the impact that that will have in people's lives. So, um, yeah, and and the dream, I would definitely I go back to my kids. I mean, and again, not that I don't want my kids to be practical and realistic, and to the extent that they want to raise families, that they make smart decisions financially and responsibly. But two things. One, certainly when you're younger, right? I would encourage them not to lay down pursuit of their dreams at an early age like I did. And secondly, whether it's my kids or anybody else, that it's never too late to do that. It certainly is never. I mean, and that's cliche, but it's true. And so, I'm hoping that my taking action in this area is going to really inspire other people in that way as well.
And people can find you where?
I would search for Tell a Better Story on Facebook. I think that's the best way to get in touch with me. Or my personal profile is David Rusinko, so you can reach me there. But right now, Facebook's the best way to reach me.
And is there anything last thing that you would want to say, knowing that our audience is our first responders and our military and frontline workers?
Yeah.
Anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've shared it, in your group, Krista, right? But I did want to share again and I'm really proud of my Facebook group for agreeing to step up to this. But earlier this year, I was thinking about how else can I give back? Where are organizations where I could just donate my time? And so I've been connecting with a bunch of organizations, and I am actually donating my time to several organizations. But then I got the idea, there's only so many hours in the day, and I do need to make a business out of this as well. But if I'm donating time, if I could raise money to sponsor coaching for additional individuals from these organizations, wouldn't that be a cool thing? And I took that idea to my Facebook group, and thankfully, I've got a bunch of really generous people that stepped up to the plate and said, yeah, let's support that cause. And we, again, we looked at a bunch of different organizations, and we chose yours to hopefully be a blessing. So hopefully there are folks that are in your community that might see this podcast, might be interested in this life coaching. And I guess if that's the case, they would reach out to you, because I'm looking for you, to say, here are the folks that I think would be a good fit for you, David. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. And certainly, I have to say honestly, I think I do for sure think that the veterans and first responders, they truly are heroes. I think that my personality, honestly, though, I'm the person that sees that potential and in every person that I work with, so like I feel like, and I think that that's probably part of maybe what I might bring is just just an independent person. I'm a life coach, and I respect and appreciate what the folks in your community have done. But I'm also going to treat you just, not as a label, not as a label, but as a person, as a unique person with unique dreams. And I want to work with you to help make that real in your life. And, and again, I think that, certainly works. We'll work in conjunction, Krista, with what you're doing, right? So, I mean, I'm not a trauma specialist, right? So I think that will be, you're getting that taken care of, in one place. And then, okay, now that I've got that, or I'm addressing that, what are some other things that I'd like to do in my life, and how could a general life coach help me along that journey?
And everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a coach. And as you guys know, our organization works with our PTSD folks, but we also work with families as well. So, so this offer is for our folks who are working on the front lines or have retired from working on the front lines, but it's also for spouses. So, and what I see as a really excellent match is if someone is going through a life change, if someone is looking to transition in their job, or if their kids are about ready to move out of the house, or someone who is on the precipice of a life change, and they're not quite sure what comes next. They're not quite sure what to do with themselves, or they're not quite sure what their goals and dreams and desires are at this point. So this is the kind of person that we're looking for, is somebody, not necessarily one of our frontline workers, it could be a spouse as well, who is stable with their symptoms if they are diagnosed with PTSD, depression, anxiety, working with a psychotherapist or a therapist, or, as long as you're in a good controlled state and you're resourced and you're able to control your emotions, then it's fine to work with a coach that isn't trauma informed. So you had two or three? I can't remember now. Two?
Yep.
Okay, so literally he has 18 sessions available for 2 people. So let us know if you think that this is a good match for you. If you resonated with what he said, if you want to work with a male, that is, he's given you a really good window into who he is and what he stands for. So let us know. You can contact him. You can contact me. We'll get you connected. Oh, good. For clarity purposes and for legal purposes, I do have to say that he is not a approved Battle to Be provider. We only work with licensed and certified providers, but this is a donation that he's making personally. So we wanted to bring his generosity forward and make that available to you. So we have not vetted, or we haven't checked references or any of that stuff. So it's not associated with Battle to Be in any way, but it is a resource that is available to you. So I hope that someone out there feels like this is a good match and will take advantage of that. Thank you for coming tonight, David, and thank you for your passion and your generosity.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for watching tonight, you guys, and watch our webpage, because we now have 4 people who are looking for funding, and we are going to be updating our Battle to Be Ferryman missions. So for Christmas time, we're going to actually put 20 missions up that will be looking for sponsors. And as those missions get sponsored, we're going to try to get them all out and to their families by Christmas. So we have the goal right now of getting 20 Ferryman missions completed before Christmas time. And what each of those missions is covers one plaque, and the coordination and transportation fees that might be involved in getting that plaque from Conroe, Texas to the family, wherever that may be. And we have done Florida and New York, and our next ones are literally all across the United States. I know off the top of my head, we have 2 in Georgia, we have a Louisiana, and I would have to look to get some of the other ones, but we're going all over the place. So if you follow the Ferryman program at all, you will have lots of maps to keep track of over the next few months. Help us do this for them for the holidays. And I'm going to have gift certificates available too if you want to purchase a Ferryman gift certificate that someone can come on at a later date and choose a fallen hero to send a plaque to their family. So again, go to battletobe.org to see what's going on. It's going to take us a couple days to update because we don't have any missions up there right now. But once we get those up, we will have our 4 2 women and 2 men who are looking for funding for their treatments, and we are looking for 20 of our Ferryman missions. So that's our Christmas goal this year. Have an amazing, amazing evening. And again, if David's message inspired you and you feel like you want to reach out, know that that's available for you, and get in contact with him or with me, and we will stay in touch. Have a fantastic evening. Talk to you all later.